She could be like me and completely forget.
No. Oh,
That's wrong.
okay.
Hey, how's Jolene?
Good.
All right.
You doing pretty
Yeah, we're about to dock your pay. Good thing you showed up when you
good?
did.
Sounded Josh where you were.
How are we doing?
Sometimes it's quick and sometimes it's not. Yeah, it's okay. I completely forgot last month. Just forgot it. That's autopilot and just.
Well, I'm making 6. Well, see if this thing's working. I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular meeting of the Guymon City Council. And at this time, I'd like to invite Pastor Tyler Arens from the Trinity Lutheran Church to give our invocation. Will you please rise?
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen. Gracious Heavenly Father, we come before you thankful for the many things you've given us each and every day. Thank you so much for this gathered together in this council meeting. Please be with all these people in the discussion, with the decision making, and may the decisions made here be for the betterment of this town of Guymon. May it all be according to your will. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Would you join me in the pledge of the flag? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call this meeting to order. Agenda item number 2 is attendance roll call and determination of a quorum.
Mr. Peterson?
Here.
Mr. Alvidrez?
Present.
Mr. Setzer?
Present.
Ms. Sanchez?
Present.
Mr. Eidson?
Here.
Ms. Hoffman?
Here.
Mr. Petty?
Here.
Mr. Shannon? We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2 is approval of the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvidrez?
Aye.
Sanchez?
Aye.
Eidson?
Aye.
Setzer?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Thank you. Agenda item number 4 is proclamation declaring the month of October 2024 as National Code Compliance Month. So I'll read this and we'll get all of our code people to come up and we'll present it to you. Whereas code compliance officers provide for the safety, health, and welfare of residents living in Guymon through the enforcement of building, zoning, housing, environmental, property maintenance, and other codes and ordinances. And whereas code compliance officers are dedicated, well-trained, and highly responsible individuals who take their jobs seriously and are proud of their department and local government and are committed to promoting life safety and improving neighborhood aesthetics in the course of their daily jobs. And whereas the City of Guymon's Code Compliance Program focuses on supporting the overall livability of our community by addressing complaints through effective communications with customers, education regarding code requirements and why these are necessary, and in the future, proactive education and training for partner organizations and community members. And whereas the American Association of Code Enforcement, acting on behalf of its more than 1,300 members, requests that October be set aside to honor and recognize our code compliance officers. And whereas we recognize the many valuable contributions made by code compliance officers in the City of Guymon and those throughout our country and extend our heartfelt thanks for their continued commitment to public service. Now, therefore, I, Kim Peterson, Mayor of the City of Guymon, do hereby proclaim October 2024 as National Code Compliance Month in the City of Guymon, and we encourage our community members to join in expressing appreciation for all code compliance staff for their dedication to improving the safety and livability of our neighborhoods. Kim Peterson. So if y'all would come up, I'll present this to you. Everybody from Code is here. Look out here.
Must have.
Well, they cut me out. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies. Agenda item number 5 is a monthly report for Main Street Guymon.
Good evening, Guymon City Council. My name is Kim Smith. I'm the current chair of the Main Street Guymon Board, and I'm excited to fill in for Ronnie tonight because Ronnie's at state training. And so our most recent event that happened with our organization is Fiesta. And so I brought with me some guests tonight to introduce to you our new royalty, our new Fiesta King and Queen, as well as our committee chair with that event. And so I'd like to introduce to you Joelle Villalobos and Victoria Ortiz Sanchez.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I'm a senior at Guymon High School. My plans after high school are start studying for teaching, especially in elementary education.
Hello, my name is Joel Villalobos, and I am a senior at the Guymon High School here. My plans after high school are to start by getting my LPN license, then proceed to get a bachelor's degree and major as a radiation tech.
Congratulations.
What are you going to do when you grow up, Sawyer?
Well, since we're talking about Fiesta, I guess I'll go ahead and step up. I just wanted to come in person and thank everybody here on behalf of the city for the support for the event. I'm just a ministry volunteer. It takes a lot of work to put on big community events like that. If it wasn't for the sponsors and the support from the many organizations, it would be even harder. Of course, having the Queen and King here, you know, PSU is a huge support with the scholarships. We had 11 participants. Of that, they receive a $1,000 waiver just for participating if they meet the criteria, plus a $900 room waiver. The actual Queen and King, they receive a full year tuition waiver. I don't know what that equals to, 5, 7, 10,000, I'm not sure. It's a great thing that OPSU has been able to do, and it's good for the community, it's good for our kids, and Main Street and the Fiesta serves as the venue to be able to do that for our youth. We appreciate all the support from the different departments, the library for interviews, streets for closing the streets, sanitation, I mean, you name it. I'm probably forgetting about other staff members, other departments, and I just wanted to thank the city for the support.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
And then I have just a few other updates outside of Fiesta, but I appreciate them coming and sharing tonight. Our board meetings are on the third Tuesdays of every month, so our next one's coming up this next week, and we do have a vacancy on our board if you know of anybody that's interested in serving with our organization. I know Ronnie sent along the director's report that she submits, and I would love your input. Something we shared last month is that we recently went through our reaccreditation process at the national level, and so we got to see the rubrics or standards that we're held to stay accredited nationally, and so that shapes some of our reporting and some of our metrics that we keep track of. And so sometimes, as we've shuffled over the last year into a new executive director, we have to ask that institutional knowledge question. Are these metrics that we're reporting valuable? Do they tell us anything? With y'all as City Council having a monthly update from us, are there other things within that report that you'd like to see? We report to a state organization, Oklahoma Main Street, and that's where Ronnie's at doing her required state training this week. And so there's certain metrics in there as far as volunteer hours and investment in the community that we have to report to that state level as well. So we always love from the Main Street lens to have an open dialogue. We're about the forward growth of the area. Our upcoming event, second time around this year, is our Main Street Regional Pageant. So we have 10 young ladies signed up to compete for the titles this upcoming Saturday. So we'll be at the Guymon Community Theater hosting those professional development opportunities. It's really exciting to teach the youth how to start crafting their resumes at age 7, as well as working on their interview skills, right? Because those are lifelong skills. So we're excited for that upcoming event. And then something else, just sharing from kind of the heart of our organization with the board, we're hoping to send different board members every month to give our updates. So hopefully, like you got to meet our King and Queen tonight at November's update, you'll be meeting our royalty from the Main Street pageant as well. I think it's neat for y'all to get to connect what we're doing with the names and faces of who's out there doing the things. So any questions for me about the Main Street organization, where we're at, where we're headed? We have a big national visit coming this next February. So Lisa with the national office is going to be coming out to work with us. I have a feeling based on our recent accreditation, we're going to really be focusing on digital transformation. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the cloud yet, but Main Street as an organization, we don't quite embrace it. So we're learning how to do that, which will be part of that national visit. And I do believe we've got some tentative dates on the radar, but there will be an hour time slot that they would like to meet with our partnerships. And the city's such a large partnership with us, so we'd like to make sure we get that time on your schedule in early February as well. So I don't know if I forgot anything, but I'm a wealth of knowledge with the Main Street organization, so if you have any questions, please reach out and let me know.
Do you know how many people were at the Fiesta Days, roughly?
We did not get that data yet from Sheila, but I love to see those mobilytics reports because we wanted to see with the venue change back to our historic district what that looked like as opposed to Sunset Park. Huge kudos to Mike Shannon. We appreciated being able to do a debrief with a safety recap because it was nice to have all the stakeholders at the table so we could share our safety concerns with Sunset Lake when we start walking the streets off, how we lose our ADA accessibility. But I'd be happy to get from Sheila those reports with the mobilytics because we're intrigued to see what the turnout looked like. I know when we closed down at 8 o'clock, there were still lines with the vendors. And so the event, if we kind of would have seen that there was no school that next Monday, probably could have ran the event a tiny bit longer because it was great to see all the foot traffic in downtown Main Street.
Kim, I'd like to make just a short statement. I appreciate your professionalism. So is Ronnie. We went back and forth, and your compromise. You're willing to compromise, and that shows a great deal. So I appreciate that very much. So thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
I think you do a great job, Kim, so keep it up.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 6 is the monthly report for Guymon Chamber of Commerce, and she's ready to go.
Good evening, City Council. I believe that you have included in your agenda packet a copy of my director's report that I submit to my board every month and a copy of the October newsletter. Happy to answer any questions regarding those. As far as upcoming events, the Chamber Banquet is this Thursday evening. And I'll have an item of new business to visit with you guys about when we get to that particular agenda item. But we are recognizing some great people. It's open to the public. We still have tickets available for sale, so it will be a great event. And then we are working on Halloween Palooza in the park, continuing to sign up people for our Trunk or Treat event. That is a free vendor option as well for food trucks and vendors. I do want to say thank you to Mr. Shannon and to Mr. Hernandez for making sure that we are able to facilitate the ride for that event. That is really a huge thing for people who are handicapped, people hauling strollers, things like that. And it's a safety thing when you look at parking, having everybody park at the activity center and ride the ride rather than parking everywhere and trying to walk. It's really a safety issue. And so for you guys to be able to allow us to do that, we really do appreciate that. We do recognize you as a sponsor for that event because you all do help us out with that. Other upcoming events are included, like I said, in my director's report. Lots of things going on in Guymon for the next month. If somebody says there's nothing to do here, they are not following along. So, but again, happy to answer any questions that you might have about things that are included in my report or any other questions that you might have regarding anything else that's coming up. So.
Do you have analytics on the 4B Fest from the weekend yet?
I do not. Okay. I know that they served right at 600 people, and they had a good turnout. Had a good turnout for the kids barbecue contest. They had 6 entries for that, and 3. Of course, they awarded prizes to the top 3. They had a great turnout for cornhole, but we do not have analytics for that completed yet. Okay. But I do know those were just some of the updates that Davita had sent to me. On Monday.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. All right. Agenda item number 7 is presentation of the 2023 audit and the performator by Frankie Crawford with Crawford and Associates and acceptance of said audit. Mr. Crawford, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mayor. Did I hear right that it said 7-year-olds were putting a resume together? I mean, I can only imagine what my resume at 7 would have said. I'm good with numbers as long as they fall between 1 and 10. Outside of that, I'm not very good. So speaking of 1 to 10, that's what we're going to talk about a little bit on the performator. But let me back up. Your auditors have issued your audit for the fiscal year that ended June 12/31/23. And since they don't come out to present it, I'll kind of summarize what they did in their 108 pages, which is basically said everything looks great. So they have 0 findings, no non-compliance, no internal control deficiencies, and then they issued a clean opinion, which basically means that I can take these numbers and take them to the bank. I can analyze them, I can use them because they're all materially correct. Problem with this 108 pages is it doesn't self-explain what it means. It's just when you flip it open, you see numbers and rows and columns going every which way, and it's kind of very difficult to piece it together. Hence, we created this thing, the performator, which at the end of the day takes all that information and says, you know what, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are we doing? With a 10 being excellent financial health and success, a 0 being terrible financial health and success, where do we fall in that slate? Knowing that there really can't be a government that scores a perfect 10, nor can there be a government that scores a 0, although Puerto Rico is testing my 0 as they are about a 0.75 right now on my scale, which is absolutely abysmal. But they have a lot of issues in Puerto Rico that we don't have here. So I'm going to try to just very quickly describe the performator, and I'm going to skip a few pages and go to page 5. I thought I had changed the font color of the page numbers, but it's not. It's kind of gray on blue, and it's in the right corner. So I'm going to go to what's called the overall slide, which is page 5, and kind of talk a little bit about it. So as you can see, there's 3 ways to read this. There is usually a picture or a chart or a graph on the left, where you can kind of track the last 10 years of data. There's usually a text or a paragraph or 2 on the right side that explains it in text. And then across the bottom, there's usually 10-year trend data along with a yellow, red, or green score, which pretty much means green is good, yellow is cautionary, red's not so good. For the overall year, we scored an 8.1 on the scale. That's down a little bit from where we were the past couple of years, but if you think back what was going on in the past couple of years, we had a lot of one-time money that had just been given to us, CARES money, ARPA money, and we sat on that money until we could do something with it. I told you about 2 years ago that we're going to have a couple of years of really abnormal high scores, and then it's going to kind of settle back down to where it normally is, which is kind of what has happened now. So we're kind of back to where we usually gravitate, which is in the lower 8s, upper 7s. If I were to put it in perspective, there's the highest score that I've seen in 22 years of doing this is a 9.1, and it's only happened twice. So an 8.1 is extremely good, and you weren't very far from one of the records 2 years ago with the 8.9. What that means is that the city is healthy from a financial standpoint, and that it's well run, and that it's got some capability going forward. In fact, on the right side of the screen of this page, you can kind of see that I've actually divvied the 8.1 up into 3 categories, one called financial position, one called financial performance, and the other called financial capability. All that really means is the position score is your health score. I take a snapshot of what the financial health of the government looks like at 12/31 of 23, and I scale that with 6 or 7 different ratios that I can benchmark and grade. There, your health score was an 8.4, again, extremely high, very happy with that. The next performance ratio is exactly that. It measures the 12-month performance from 1/1/23 to 12/31/23. That score was an 8.3, another very good score. Financial capability, 7.1. That simply means anything above a 5, we have some sustainability, that we can continue this on indefinitely over a period of time with the budgets that we use. And as far as the budget and the accounting go, Lavona and Rhonda have done an extremely good job of curtailing the expenses to live within the means of which we have to. And that's why we've hesitated and gravitated into this 8 score of the 8s over the last 4 or 5 years. Things have not always been that pretty. I mean, in fact, you can go back to 2017 and we were floating down into the 5s. When you see that kind of score, you kind of know something's not quite right. And so that stopped. You can see that the improvement started right after 2017 and continued on. And then COVID actually ended up causing better things happening as far as the financial condition, simply because there was a lot of one-time free money that was literally given to us that we could almost use for just about anything. Not quite anything, but almost. And now that that money has been spent and it is gone, we're kind of back to normal. So the way this report is laid out, and I'm not going to really go through a whole lot of other slides unless you just want me to, I've picked about 17 or 18 different financial ratios that I think are unique and special to the governmental arena. And then I've taken about 250 governments across the U.S. and I've benchmarked them and said, okay, what is the worst government in this range? What is the best government in this range? And I kind of came up with my scale of what a 0 is, what a 5 is, and what a 10 is. So overall 5s are kind of satisfactory. 10s obviously are excellent. 0s are obviously not very good. And so every page after this takes one of the ratios and kind of simplifies it to explain, what's our cash flow look like, which by the way are 10s. What's our debt ratios look like? What are our tax ratios look like? Do we have sustainability? And so each one of those categories have 3 or 4 or 5, 6 slides that relate to each one. It's actually kind of interesting coffee table reading. It's not going to really put you to sleep like most accounting will, because it does have some interest in it and it's relatively explainable. The 108 pages that is the audit, that is the cure for insomnia. If you suffer from insomnia, open this audit report, try to get past the table of contents, and I assure you, you will fall asleep. It's a great document, but it's way too much for the non-accountant to decipher. And that's kind of why we came up with this other thing. So with that, I'll kind of stop talking and let you ask me some questions, and I can go over any slide that you want in particular. I know you've had this for a week or so to look at it, but I'm pleased with both the audit and with the scoring. I would like to kind of stay in the lower 8s, upper 7s. The way that's going to happen is we got to stay within our means. We can't spend far more than we collect. That's going to get us going down the hill. But as long as we can manage the budget with what we're doing and we can still achieve our objectives of the city and providing services, then if we stay in the mid to high 7s or lower 8s, I think that's an excellent score, and I think that's where you need to be. The only thing I can't really measure, and I wish I could, is the quality of life. It'd be nice if I'd say, yes, you're in great financial shape, and oh, by the way, the citizens are happy with everything you're doing for them. Unfortunately, that's kind of complicated. I can't pull that out of an audit. I literally have to do surveys, and that would get me into an area I probably should not have my expertise in. So with that, any questions about that year that's over? And we're 3/4 of the way through 24, and that's kind of crazy. Usually I'm here in August and we talk about this, but both my August calendar and September calendar didn't let me get out here for your meeting, so that's why we're here in October. But we'll probably be back here in about 8 months talking about fiscal 24 and seeing how that did. But I don't see anything that's really scaring me yet. So I just think the city's really well run, and that's a testament both to you guys overseeing what both the managers are doing and the managers overseeing what the finance is doing. So well run, and I'm happy with that. Questions?
I see a lot of green, but I'm jumping straight to the red numbers here.
That's an easy way to do it.
Page 22 and 31 hit upon sales tax growth and our sales tax rate. Could you elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Let me get to those pages first. On sales tax growth, typically what we do on sales tax growth is I try to measure whether or not our sales and use taxes are more than what they were in the prior year, or more than what we had budgeted. Over the last several years, notice it's kind of been climbing a little bit. Our sales and use taxes have been going up. I kind of thought that after the COVID settled down a little bit and a lot of the one-time money got spent, that we would probably see a decrease in sales and use tax. In other words, for a while, people were buying everything local because they weren't going anywhere else, which kind of increased our sales and use taxes. Now, things are going the other way where people are buying things elsewhere. So I simply like to see either a flatline sales tax or just up to a 5% increase. You guys actually had a 2.9% decrease over the prior year. That's not terribly alarming, but it kind of bucks a trend that I had started to see where sales tax had been climbing. So that's why anytime you have a decrease, you're going to get a red score as opposed to a positive score. So kind of hoping that reverses itself a little bit in 24. But we might be back now to the area where sales tax is returning to normal, sales and use tax. We had several years where we were jumping 5%, 15%. That's crazy. You can't, in a normal environment, jump 5 to 15% every year. So I expected a little bit of drawback. It's there, and that's why your score that year went down a little bit. I think you had one other red one. Let me find it.
Yeah, 31, page 31.
31 is also related to sales tax.
Right.
This one is actually one that I'm going to have to think about again. 4% sales tax 20 years ago when I created the performer was the cap. In other words, if you went more than 4%, you were in a death spiral. No one was going to pay a 4% sales tax or 4.5% sales tax. And so when I set this, 4% wasn't really a very good rate. Now 4% is the norm. So I've probably got to redo my benchmarks now, because I've seen some governments up to 5.5% now. Not many, but I see many governments approaching the 5% mark. So I think 5 is going to have to be my low end mark now, which means that you're probably at a 4, probably going to score a 5 to a 6 in the future. I just have to redo the benchmarks. But right now I didn't, so I've left everything for fiscal 23 the way it was. But 4 was really the rate that you couldn't exceed, and now 4 is easily the norm. So I'm going to have to go and re-benchmark this. But you'll probably get a better score on this next year, even though the rate's still going to be the same, simply because I'm going to shift the benchmarks to reflect what has happened over the last 20 years. But that's the other red one.
Cool.
These are great questions.
Thank you.
I'm glad you actually read this. That warms my heart.
And I didn't fall asleep either.
There's usually only 4 or 5 people read it, so if I get a 5th one, I'm really happy. So, but no, I'm teasing that I wrote it just for that reason, because it is extremely difficult to read that, but it's not hard to read this. So that was the whole purpose for it. what started out as just a local thing for Oklahoma that I was trying to do to city councils here in Oklahoma got picked up nationally. It's used by the Department of Interior now for 14 international governments that they have us measure their health, like Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa. It's actually taught in college and university textbooks now as the methodology of how to measure governmental health and success. I had literally just designed it for people like you, for city council, and I didn't realize it was going to get nationally picked up. So there are 100+ governments that use this every year just across the U.S., but most of them are here because that's what it was designed for. So, any other questions?
Very good.
I think you make it really easy for us to comprehend when you do the performance analysis.
Well, good. That's its design. I've yet to run into somebody who doesn't understand how are we doing on a scale of 1 to 10. That's a universal concept. I thought about doing grades, like letter grades, when I first created this, and I thought, no, I moved away from that, and so I've stuck with this. And again, knowing that not everybody is an accountant like I am, I kind of want to keep it simple. So that's how that was born. So
thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the comments.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for making the trip.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. Good to see everybody again. We'll be back soon. We'll do it again.
Sounds good.
Thank you. All right. Agenda item 8 is discussion and possible action to approve resolution number 24-09, a resolution amending the rules and regulations of the Elmhurst Cemetery, including a revised schedule of fees. And so I'll turn this over to Ginger Klebich, our Assistant City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for the opportunity to revisit the cemetery rate increase proposal. Before diving into the details, I just want to acknowledge how deeply personal the matter is, not just for me, but also for our staff and for the community. I understand how sensitive and emotional these decisions can be, so the very nature of the discussion touches some of the most profound and painful moments that we have in our lives, and as individuals and as the community. Looking back on some of the questions that were left unanswered, I kind of wanted to touch base with some of the reflections of the cemetery board back at the beginning of the year. It's important to note that this proposal did undergo review through the cemetery board on February the 5th. And after careful consideration, all the aspects of the rate increase and adjustment, they were approved by the board. I know there were talks about another session that was held on March the 8th. There were certainly reasons we wanted to try to revisit to try to accommodate the funeral homes, and that was met with the items being tabled because the board did not come to a unanimous agreement about changing from their agreement from the February 5th meeting. So that is certainly something that I wanted to make sure that was out there. When the plan had passed, when we did receive that feedback from the funeral home, and again, that was reviewed again back in March, there was no more cemetery board meetings that were held because we had no quorum. And those are recorded through our city cemetery secretary, through Ursula, and she definitely keeps valid proof that those, when there is not a quorum, that she keeps that proof and that information via the email responses. So I certainly had realized that was a point that I did not reach out and address. So anyway, I wanted to make sure that I had that information on the table. Another question that was asked of me was what the true cost of a cemetery plot would be and what opening and closing should actually reasonably cost. And if there was a way that looking at it overall at the expense compared to what our yearly budget is for our cemetery, it's important to note that our cemetery budget only includes the maintenance and the staff of that cemetery. It does not include any capital outlay, It also does not include our city secretary for the cemetery. It does not include her salary inside of that as well. I believe she's considered inside of our administrative staff over here in the city hall. So that is definitely something that I wanted to point out. If we ran the numbers with what our budget is, an actual service, if we did that multiplied by the 60 services, that was just an average. The 60 services was an average. For a plot and opening and closing, that would have made that cemetery plot upwards to $4,700. If we divided those yearly expenses down by 80 services, that would have put us at $3,500 for a opening and closing in a cemetery plot. We certainly realize that that outprices most of the public. It outprices me, so I understand that. So it really becomes pretty clear that making a rate adjustment by looking at some of the surrounding areas as well. We know that our general fund carries the cemetery expenses, so that's certainly something that we need to make sure that we're taking into consideration with our rates. Some other things to address. There's been a lot of questions asked, and whether or not cemeteries actually could sell the service of tent service, vaults, those areas, and whether other cemeteries actually provide those services or not. In doing some research in the last couple of days, I found that ground memorials, vaults, and flowers were also a service that was offered through several cemeteries throughout the state of Oklahoma. Resurrection Cemetery in Oklahoma City, Memorial Park in Tulsa, Stumped Rolling Oaks and Green Acres out of Tulsa. They also provide those services for their customers. So it's certainly not something that would be without of the realm or outside of the realm for a city to be able to control their destiny, or what direction that we plan to take. So just with those questions answered, I realize that one of the biggest issues that we face is by not adjusting cemetery fees is deferred maintenance and kicking the can down the road. So that's definitely something that we have to look at. Prolonging increasing rates, I realize that it's a painful thing to hear, but in comparison with other cemeteries, just going back and looking through, just doing a hard search of cemeteries throughout the state of Oklahoma that did the same, that were following suit with some of these other cemeteries. I found a lot of information about from the end of 2023 to 2024, how many cemeteries were actually having to face this issue. I found that with OKC, Sepulpa, they raised theirs from $475 to $700 just for the plot, not for opening and closings. They certainly weren't taking over, doing tents and vaults and things like that. But it certainly wasn't off the table. Found a very interesting conversation via a YouTube video where cemeteries or city cemeteries and privately owned cemeteries are definitely trying to take that direction, just to be in control of what kind of service that they offer to the public. So just with that said, I would definitely open the floor to any concerns. I definitely still recommend that we move forward. I know it's council's decision. I feel like council has done a really good job of gathering all the information for each member and reviewing it. So anyway, I would open that up to any comments or any questions.
Ginger, I tabled this last meeting, and I thought we needed to look into this a little bit more, and I think over that time you have answered a lot of the questions that I had. I don't know if other council members have reached out, but you have answered quite a few questions that I had on this, and I thank the cemetery board for doing what they're supposed to be doing, and thank you for putting this together.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So there has or hasn't been a cemetery board meeting since March?
Correct. There has not been one since March the 8th. But This was the only item that was really reflected on both of those sessions.
So what new services is the cemetery going to provide after this resolution?
It will be for the tents, chairs, the setup of the services, and for vaults. That would be it's the new services that are being proposed. So those services that you see, there's two sets of fees there. There's a fee for the plots, and then, of course, the second set of fees, that is for those services provided and with opening and closing. So when you see that opening and closing is inclusive. So if you see a higher amount, it does include all of that except for that plot.
Do we have anybody that actually works at the cemetery here with us today?
We have the director, Martin, he's here. If you would like for Martin to come on, not Martin, George. George is over this.
I just wanted to-
Martin probably doesn't want that position right now.
I just kind of want to highlight some of the needs that the cemetery has right now.
Absolutely.
Some of the needs, something that has been proposed to the cemetery board, new fencing. So definitely we need new fencing out there. We've done some repairs, get my coordinates right, towards the west side of the cemetery where we park our equipment. We was able to barricade that area very good now, but still the rest of the cemetery we still need roads that need to be paved on the south side because the cemetery keeps extending to the south. Now section 5 and 6 is starting to get filled, and we need to get the road paved because when we have those rains and stuff, it's hard to get our hearse or to carry anything down to the graveside. So that's something that will be done very, very soon. So definitely. So among other things, of course, that can be done. But if I have to highlight a couple of things, it'll be those two. To me, repair the fencing and of course gates not do that. But definitely the roads on the south side of the cemetery.
Well, there was a concern about equipment last time we met as well, correct?
Well, concerned because that equipment is very old. Our dump truck is a 1999 model, and our backhoe is 2000. It's over 20 years old.
And it's a hand-me-down.
It's
Right.
already got passed from other departments to the cemetery, so that's some of the issues. Same thing with our vehicles we got out there, they've been through other departments already. That's not to the cemetery, so it's a little outdated. So it would be nice to be replaced on the future instead of, like you mentioned, kicking the can down the road. So.
Several of the calls that I've had, and it's reflected bad on the council. We're trying to play catch up. You know, we're doing this too fast and ripping off the band. You know, and I can see that. Yes, we have dropped the ball for several years, but in order to play catch up, I tried to understand and I tried to take that feedback and make my decision. But I mean, we haven't had an increase since 2020. That's when it was revised.
Right. It was a minor adjustment just to do
On the opening closing because the sale for the is still the same.
But I saw most of the same prices back to 2014.
Yeah, there was just minor adjustments.
Right. So it is, you know, it pulls on your heartstrings a little bit when you start talking about this. It's a cemetery, and most people don't think about it until it's time. You know, it's about that time. So
I did see my very first in my research. I had never heard the term of a boutique cemetery, and we're definitely not a boutique cemetery. So we're not in that price range. Just so that y'all know that there's definitely.
Are we charging for opening and closing and lowering device, for the lowering device?
We do open and close because that is the work that our.
So there's no
does.
charge.
No, there is a charge. There's a charge for open and close.
And
But
what
the
is that?
lowering device and all of that setup comes from a third-party service that comes out of either Kansas or out of Texas. So it's a 2-hour.
So we do not have a lowering device.
No, we do have a lowering device. I think in the last council session, I included pictures in the packet that were.
Well, what is the charge for that?
That would be included in those fees in that second part of the,
So it's already in there.
it would be built inside of that, absolutely. Yes, it's a very nice setup with a lowering device. And if we're moving forward with that, that would be something that we would want to plan in the future for any replacements. So at the moment, our plan is if something breaks, we would have to call out service. But our plan is to work forward for new, another set of equipment, another lowering device to make sure that we are adequate in the services that we would supply for the city. So.
There were some, sorry.
That's okay. One of the questions I asked last time, I just want to ask it again. We are not trying to take over the business of the funeral directors.
Absolutely not. So I know that there has been a lot of questioning. I mean, I have eyes I can read. So I think that that's, there's valid concerns there. But I think that's what a lot of the public doesn't see is that, especially this side, these are third-party entities that bring that in. Can those services be sold or marked up? There's always a potential for that. That could be the case. Especially when the third-party company comes in to set up, George and the crew can attest for that most of the time when they come in to do that, these guys are out there helping and assisting with that. And this just became a part of the way our guys had made the suggestion of, why aren't we doing this? Other cemeteries are doing this, other cities are doing this, why are we not doing it? So that way we can offer this instead of waiting on a third-party company to come out to provide the service for us.
So where are we helping to set up for third parties?
They're not typically, would you say it's a high turnover with those entities? They have enough turnover that it's probably lack of experience when they come out, making sure that they're in the right location.
And that's what actually started this process over 2 years ago, because our staff had to intervene every time because they were having issues keeping people, so they were having new employees constantly. So my guys had to step in, whether it's help them down lowering the cement vault or helping them set up on the wing, because they were sending 1 people over. And trying to set up a 10 went very difficult. And that's how this conversation started. And also you take on account that a lot of the citizens have to pay travel time for that service to come up here. It turns out to over $4 per mile, up to 50 miles. So it's something that started that conversation little by little, but definitely because we see the issue that it was taking with these people coming down here. Either it's Amarillo or Garden City. So it's 120 miles either way.
Right.
What would happen if there's 2 services within a very close time?
Well, at that moment, we're planning to, we don't get one set up, we will still be using CPI to help them with the other one, but we try to coordinate everything where we can have them be done with one set up and the other one. Sometimes we need maybe 3 hours between services, but it's something that might be discussed with funeral directors as well, but we're looking forward to still work with CPI, but definitely find a second setup where we can provide those services if that's the case.
So the funeral homes do not have to, or let me rephrase that. The people does not have to necessarily use our services for tents, et cetera, necessarily, or would they?
Absolutely. So if they, let's just say it's an affordability issue, or maybe somebody says it's going to be a beautiful day, but I need a tent. Can I save some money there? Absolutely. You do not have to have that service provided. A lot of times people, just want to have a gravesite and they want to make it quick, and that's exactly what they do. They really don't want all the frills. So we kind of saw a lot of that through COVID. People were just shooting straight to gravesite and not going through everything. Under mandates, we were kind of required to do that, and so I think we took a lot of valuable lessons from that moment.
So in summary, the city is just making that service available locally for the funeral directors instead of them contracting out of Amarillo or Garden City.
Yes.
You collected a lot of data about some of the neighboring communities that have similar situations to us. Could you elaborate on that a little bit for us?
So, some of the guys, one of our staff members pulled the information. I can go back through and kind of re-summarize. I am going to say that the ones that are facing the same challenges that we're facing, it just didn't serve for us to include the ones that are really going through the same challenges, because like they had said, we haven't updated in 10 to 15 years, and they're facing the same battle. Some of the ones that are updated, or where they feel like they're in the current updates, was North Lawn Cemetery in Dumas. And again, their population was still the same size, roughly the same size as Guymon. Their spaces were 650. Their opening and closings were 1,095 on the weekdays, and the weekends they were 1,275. At the Dumas Cemetery, the spaces were $700, and the opening and closing was 1,275. At Valley View Garden City, population 27,500, the spaces were 400. The opening and closing on weekdays was 450, and weekends, just for opening and closings, was 750. Maple Grove and Dodge City, spaces are 500, opening and closings 450, weekends are 700. Rose Hill, spaces were 1,995, opening and closing services only, not to include any other services, was 2,195. So just examining it, I did hear the argument about us being in comparison to some of the surrounding towns with our cemetery, but we reviewed like a map size of what our cemetery is, and exactly, improved surfaces or all our paved roads that are in there. Those cemeteries, I think we came up with almost 4 times, ours is almost 4 times larger than what the other cemeteries are. And of course, some of those are a limited budget. We run a full crew out there because we're a larger population, and it's just something that we have to do. We have to provide that. We can't man that cemetery with just one individual. It's just not feasible. So we've actually found that we could use more help out there. So
these are pretty steep prices. So how would one pay for this, preferably? Because obviously life insurance and health insurance and everything doesn't just jump to the Cash App or anything like that.
Well, that's a good question. And I think maybe where some of that is guided for, or from, we know that there's concerns about the affordability of families. We definitely took that into account. We have done everything we can to make sure that we're putting into place methods that will make sure that no one's denied the dignity of a proper service. We certainly have methods that are in place. We've got spaces that are definitely allocated. It's not something that, these are for people that are in true need. It's not, I don't know how we delicately put that without saying, there are people that are really under true hardship that we have definitely taken into account in the past, and even people before you guys sat here had made revision for that for people who had hardships. And so it is definitely something that is a case-by-case issue, but we definitely address that with each family. And we try to respect the conversation as well. So if they come in and maybe they need to make a payment arrangement with the city, that is definitely something that we have put into place. If that addresses that, if I've expanded on that enough.
Any other questions for these folks?
Anybody? Go ahead.
We have several folks from the cemetery board here. I saw Bill. I don't know who else is here.
Funeral director.
Yeah, we'll do those. So, Bill, I'm going to ask you if you would like, if our folks from the cemetery board would like to say anything.
Thank you.
Do that. Don't run off, so they might need your backup.
I'm Bill Angus, Chairman of the Cemetery Board, lucky guy. Okay, these proposed changes said that we approved. Well, that's, in my part, that's not true. In the last meeting I was at, was February 5th, and I haven't been back because I stabbed myself. But other than that, we try to work with everybody. We got a great staff at the cemetery, and they work hard. We try to make it less expensive for everybody, and just, for example, you know, we allowed them to use artificial pressed stone, you know, Chesley West, when her dad died, they put that up. It was a lot cheaper because they couldn't afford granite, which was part of our rules, and we made an exception to that. But somebody talking about steep prices, I think, you know, going from 300 to 1,100, and I think it's $350, 350%. So I'm asking that you guys to table this and talk it over, because like there's a lot of hot people, like Bob Roberts called me, and he was telling me they were going to make that mandatory, where the city was going to do the burials. I mean, they can still have their service and stuff, and I was like, well, I've never heard that. But we tabled it, and so the reason we don't have more meetings, we're supposed to have them quarterly. But every time we put one together, Ursula sends out, we don't have a quorum. And I know for a fact that 4 out of 5 of us were all in for that. And if I'd seen that, increases like that, I would have never approved that. No way. But I mean, you gotta go incremental raises on people. I mean, you can't afford to die. So, you know, but not everybody can pay that. You know, it's gonna be like the hospital or something. You gotta eat it, you know, and I don't know what else to tell you, but we've got good staff out there, and they're real accommodating. So I'm just really asking you guys to table this, think about it, and do something. We're going to meet tomorrow at noon. I thought it'd be better to come up here and get ahead of this. But if you table this and talk about it, and as far as some of those rates, those are metropolitan areas, and those people like Tulsa and Oklahoma City, and there are cemeteries right down Oklahoma City, and they're well kept and they're nice. And I'm sure you have to pay for it, but really, I'm not running board. This really a kind of a country town, country cemetery. That's a big increase. Any questions for me? I'll try to answer them best I can. I just wish you'd table it.
So the unanimous vote in February, you did not vote for this increase?
We tabled it because we didn't know what the increases are going to be. We didn't have real stuff. Well, Jack here, the reason they bought the tent, and we agreed to it, was it was going to save people money, like $1,500 to use them, or like $2,400 to bring Garden City or Amarillo in. So we thought, well, people can afford that, that's their choice, and they have the choice to use the city, which we thought, well, that's a good idea. Did I answer your question?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure, somebody.
Does anybody have the meeting, the notes from that?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
They tape recorded, so maybe you go study that.
I guess the question would be, I believe Ginger said that you met in April, and that's when you voted on it?
March or February?
February.
And it wasn't approved, not by the cemetery board. Now, get your tape out and play.
Okay.
There's no way that I would allow the be raised 350%, put that on people. No way.
350%.
Excuse me?
It's not 350%.
What is it? Yes, 300 to 1,100, what's that?
Then how they gonna lower the bottom? How they gonna lower the bottom?
Well,
They still have to pay for somebody to come.
I'm not griping about your prices. I'm not griping about your prices.
It's not 350%.
Well, and, you know, there's some upset people, they think you're gonna go mandatory, they have to use this.
Okay, gentlemen,
Excuse me?
the conversation's with us, not between you guys.
Well, he asked me a question, I'm not answering everybody.
Well, so, I don't know what the deal is. Ursula says she's got it in the minutes.
Ursula also, you know, calls off meetings when we know for a fact we've had quorum.
Okay, let's not.
We're not here to throw staff members under the
Yeah,
bus.
let's not.
Well, I don't want to, because it makes it look like we're not even trying. It's,
It looks like you guys voted on it unanimously,
well, that-
and now you're going back.
That was we tabled it, and we were going to approve incremental raises, you know, at the time, but nothing like that. I wouldn't have done that. No way. So I wish somebody had proof that I said that. Be great.
Okay, just give, what? Do you have copies of the minutes handy, Ursula? Okay.
Mayor, I think the city clerk can pull those up right
I
quick.
talked to Benny Bob, I talked about him, you know, he's on the board, and he said we tabled it.
Okay,
And-
well, they're looking at the minutes. We'll have them in here in a minute, and we'll.
Well, they can write anything they want to on it.
Well-
Was not approved. We didn't approve it, we tabled it. That's what I'm asking you guys to do, it's too much money. And, well, I guess I can ask you guys, is that a possibility where they use just the city to provide the tent service and the lowering and the closing, opening and closing? Has that ever been brought up?
I'm gonna defer to Ginger and Mike because the staff has put most of this together, and we've got the schedules, but I don't know about the intent. Did you understand his question, Mike?
I'm sorry, I was just looking at these minutes.
I think his question is, is it mandatory that the funeral homes use our services?
You're asking.
Ginger, that's your question, right, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that's what
Okay.
Bob Roberts asked me last time.
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay.
I think, Ginger, right behind you, I think we just pulled up the minutes.
Okay, so just looking at the February 5th meeting, as I had said previously, and to answer the question, I think to put it in the kindest way again that I could possibly put it, it was about taking control of our destiny and making sure that there was the affordability for the city to account for the services, the service fees, and to be responsible to use those for the service, for the maintenance of the cemetery. And so to answer that, yes, that was the direction that the city wanted to take, was to be able to utilize our services and have those fees come into the city versus contracting them out to somebody else, because that is what the funeral homes are doing. They're contracting those entities out, as George had spoke earlier, to Garden City and to Amarillo. And when I look back at these notes, again, from what I had spoke of earlier, was that we had a session on February the 5th, and those present were Mr. Landis, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Smith, and Mr. Kane. Members absent were Mr. Perkins. When you scroll down to item number 9, this discussion and possible action to approve the updated cemetery rules. It shows where I presented the cemetery rules to the board and explained why the rules needed to be updated. Inside of those rules are the fee schedules as well. Ursula did take the time to take those and to separate those out so the board members could see those individually. So that was an individual discussion. That is also available on YouTube for the recording. All those meetings are recorded. The votes are, as you can see, all ayes were there except for the one absent vote, of course, with Mr. Perkins.
On agenda number 8, agenda item 8, can you pull up because it says directly fee schedule.
Fee schedule.
Can we pull?
Same with the votes, 8 and 9. So the fees were approved and then the rules were approved as well.
Just a second here, we approved the new prices? Or did you guys come? Well, $1,100, we did that.
Yes, sir.
Negative. And your destiny deal, that's like manifest destiny, that God-given right. We did not. We tabled that.
Well,
You're calling everybody on the board a liar.
okay, Bill. Bill, let's not go any further.
To reiterate what was said,
It's right there.
we came back in March. The board passed them. There were a lot of complaints within the city. We tried to evaluate those complaints. If Mike wants to elaborate on some of the things that happened during the time, there was some sensitive things, and so we tried to be very accommodating and to see this from the other side and to be able to approach it from their shoes. So Mike said maybe what we should do is take those considerations and remove vaults off of that. That was the only thing that we removed. We came back and the board at that time on March the 8th would not pass that, and they tabled it because it was actually going back and undoing what they did in February. And that was what the tone and the conversation was when we left that meeting. We never had anything else to go back on afterwards. No meetings had taken place where we could even pull it from the table. So what we did was, knowing the situations that we had in front of us, some of the things that we've discussed in the past, that was what brought this back up to the forefront. And so we knew that moving forward, in order to make things financially feasible for our cemetery, that we were going to have to revisit this, even if it was at the pains of the community not understanding all the dynamics, and also for the funeral homes painting one side of the picture.
So just to make it crystal clear, a part of this fee increase is the fact that we're going to be making up for the third party that we had been bringing in from out of state to do business here, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I would like to ask the gentleman in the back with the glasses and the green shirt to come up.
Once a few minutes.
I just want to make this perfectly clear in the public record that we usually don't do this.
We don't.
We've had other items before in which people from the public liked to talk, they wanted to talk, and we didn't let them.
On that action item?
On many action items. I've been in this council before I was a city council member, when I wanted to talk.
Now, Josh, I know you were upset with me and you were calling me names on Facebook.
Okay, I didn't call you names. Can we just grow up for 5 seconds?
Excuse me. We're now letting up Kelly. If we're going to have a discussion, if you're going to present your side, we're going to do it in a very gentlemanlike fashion. We're not going to have any name calling, no accusations, whatever, or we're going to stop. This is not here to be pointing fingers and calling people out for something you perceived or think happened or whatever. So let's have a conversation. Both of you understand? All right.
I understand. I have a problem with the amount of the increase as far as, okay, take your paycheck.
You want to cut it in a third, in half? You know, you don't think we give people breaks? You drive by and think, oh, you know, they're making all this money. Jack, how many times has Bob and myself had a double Saturday? A few. I mean, George is saying that we'll have to have like 3 hours to tell our families. Okay, Sergio, somebody passed away in your family, and you had to have it at 2 o'clock because a family member was coming in. And I said, can't do it. Got to do it at another time. Other funeral homes got the one and only lowering device in 10. If there's any overtime, I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. This is overreaching into my pocket, into Bob's pocket, and I don't know where she got her research, but I've been doing this over 30-some years, and unless it's a corporate-owned funeral home, which there's over 2,000 in the nation, owned by SCI, and they do own their own flower shops, and they do make their own vaults. They pour the concrete themselves. But I have never seen a city, especially a city of this size, ever dabble into the sales part. Period. Never. And just because we're coming up short on this and this, we want to gouge people on spaces. We want to take vaults out of the funeral homes and stuff like that. I can understand going up, but let's go up in increments. You know, go up, and it should have been done long ago. Go up 25, 25, 25, whatever. But when you hammer people, I mean, $200 a space to go up to $450? Really? That's ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just telling you how I feel. I think it's ridiculous. A town this size charging that, and as far as, you know, it tells me that somebody already had their mind made up that this was going to pass because we have a tent already. We have a lowering device. But I guess if we have more than one service, we got to tell our families, no, we got to put it on another day or another time. And that is ridiculous.
So most people are in favor of an increase as long as it's incremental.
That's what I say.
What's the difference? We're already offering a payment plan, and you guys offer payment plans. So what's the difference?
Well, that's like we talked about earlier, life insurance. And I asked you directly, are you going to have somebody to file the insurance for us, meaning the city and the funeral home? And you said that's a no-brainer. You going to go hire somebody for $40,000, $50,000 a year to file insurance? When we're doing all that? I mean, I don't understand. I really don't. Tell me, you know, come on, Josh, tell me what you're thinking.
I'm thinking that as a business entrepreneur, then you would just can reconsider upping your prices a little bit to cover the costs, like the rest of us do when we have to pay for something. If he has to pay more for short ribs, he's going to charge a little bit more. If I have to pay more for computer parts, I'm going to charge a little bit more. It's just how it works.
Okay, yeah, a little bit more. Not almost triple for space.
Well, we offer different services for different folks that can or cannot afford.
Okay,
You don't have
if
to.
I don't have as much money as you, you're going to give me, that land out there's the same.
Right.
You're going to give me just one area over here compared to you. If you've got, you know, you've got more money, you're going to put me in a potter's field or someone in my family? I mean, what are you trying to say?
I don't think that's, I'm saying the opposite of that. I'm saying that no matter what your income level is, we're going to help you. We're going to work with you. Your guys' service and the city's service is still going to be helping whatever family needs to bury somebody. So, like, we've got to cover costs. We've got to make sure that things are done. The theme I've seen in this city for a very long time now is everybody wants everything to be great. Everybody wants a park, and everybody wants great streets, and everybody wants everything to be amazing, but then nobody wants to pay for it. If you want a nice cemetery, you got to put your money where your mouth is. If you want to continue to have great services out there, you got to put your money where your mouth is. And part of that beautification process,
Gentlemen.
part of the beautification process is what the city does to make sure that that thing is maintained, and that helps your business.
That helps my business.
Yes.
I'd like to interject.
Yes.
So that way we can kind of keep it short again. And I'll bring Ginger up again one more last time. Like Josh said, and like you do as well, we work with people as long as they communicate with us. And it's not just on plots, it's on many things, right, Mr. Shannon? It's all about communication. And if we don't talk to each other, then we can't help each other, okay? And you know how you work with people, and we work with people probably in a similar way. So the cost that we're needing to charge is to cover costs that we already incur. And to bring Ginger back up one more time,
So
okay?
let me get this straight. So if you didn't budget correctly, you're going to charge other people higher prices to cover your budget.
No, that's where communication comes in to see how,
explain
just like when you talk to people who can't play everything up front in the first week where they have a loved one lost. You work with those people, do you not? I've worked with funeral home directors that do the same thing.
I just got an insurance payout 2 weeks ago. It took 13 months. Is the city ready to wait for 13 months for an insurance check?
That's all part of communication with the city. And that will happen on a case-by-case study, just like we do with everything else that we do. And that's part of, if it's me or anybody else, we have to have that communication with whoever we're dealing with. Be it you, be it with the city, be it with a computer dude, because we're doing computer parts. You have to work with who's providing that service for you.
I don't think, and on part of it, I don't think you realize how much you're opening yourself up for liability too. I mean, as far as, if a mistake happens, okay, if a tent takes off, or if a tent, I don't know if it's on wheels or whatever. But, we had a service where there was a burn down. I told the family, we're staying here until the wind. If we go out there and something from the city hits somebody, and they come back on you guys, would you rather them go back on that third company or on you?
I'm sure Mr. Petty will help us with that issue if it comes. Right, Mr. Petty?
I'm not expressing any opinion in public.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mr. Petty.
What's unfair is the description that you are painting of what we're trying to provide. This isn't anything new.
I know.
Most cemeteries around the world are doing this.
How many have you visited?
I worked in one.
Yeah, I called up there and you said they required a vault, and they did not ever require a vault up there.
I'm not even talking about vaults. We're talking about services. We're talking strictly about services, and we're talking about fee increases.
I think
it's not cherry picking. This is what we're about to vote on.
I just wanted to give you an opportunity to speak your words, because I didn't have a time to reach out to you. I appreciate you coming up and talking to us, but I want to bring Ginger up one last time to 100% clarify. Are our service mandatory, or are they optional towards the person who's looking for them?
Thank you, Kelly.
Yes, thank you, Kelly.
I have a question. I want to know if you are requiring the city to be the only tent company in there.
That's my question, Kelly. That's my question.
So, in answering that, again, I know it's been asked a couple of times tonight. And I apologize, I know that's a very heated topic. But again, to put this very delicately and not to give you an idea, when I say the picture is being painted very unfairly towards the city, it is. There's a lot of left out information out of here that's crucial and can be hurtful. We have a fiduciary responsibility as the people that you put in charge of this city. And we have been very compromising, very gentle with personalities. Mike has certainly went above and beyond to make sure that things were okay when they weren't okay. And so kudos to Mike, because I don't know how I would have digested some of those conversations. We gave ample opportunity, and in order to be able to control our destiny with the city, that is actually what we are asking. We're asking to be able to do that. We're asking for you as council to not section this off into a third-party company to come in here and to offer these services. Our guys to this moment have never once said to anybody, well, we're not going to hold this service because we can't get this company to come in here and provide a tent for you at the same time. These guys have bent over backwards to make sure that Bob Roberts or Kelly have had everything that they need to do out there to provide a quality service. We're asking for that control for us, for our guys, for our city, not to give this out to somebody else, not to let those fees go off to somebody. We do have wonderful equipment out there. What would we do with it? I don't know. Maybe we would contract to CVI and let them charge us to set up our equipment. Not really sure what we would do with that. It's a matter of making sure that we are responsible for that. The other thing that somebody had asked if I had pointed out was that there's a right under customer service under the Federal Trade Commission for funeral homes to make sure that they itemize and identify their charges. So maybe that's something that the public needs to ask. You know, if you want to know what those fees are, that might give you some indication of where fees move to. In talking to those services, they even suggested to us that we would be providing a better service by doing that. And that takes a lot for a company to say that if you had it, you would in essence provide a cheaper and better service to your community.
So I'm just seeing approval for a schedule of fees, not rules. Is it in the rules that they have to use the city and not use the other two third parties?
It is not in the rules.
Okay, so right now it's just
Right,
schedule
yeah.
fees.
Right, yeah.
So they can still hire either or third party.
They could.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other questions?
No. Well, thank you, Ginger, for your comments. And I thank the people that came up and commented as well.
Anyone have any other questions? Anything else you'd like to discuss?
I make a motion that we approve resolution number 2409, resolution amending the rules and regulations, Elmhurst Cemetery, including the revised schedule of fees, item A.
I second.
Have a motion and a second.
Setzer?
Aye.
Heitzen?
No.
Alvedras?
Aye.
Sanchez?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
We have 4 ayes and 1 nay.
Thank you. And thank you all for your inputs. And I know it's a very touchy deal, but sometimes things have to change a little bit. Agenda item number 10 is discussion and possible action to approve.
Whoa, 9.
Wait.
9.
9. Oh, I'm trying to get ahead. Highlighted in green. Agenda item number 9 is discussion and possible action to approve order of determination for trash at Lot 26, Block 2, Price Hills addition to the City of Guymon, Texas County, Oklahoma, also known as 214 Northeast 18th Street. Excuse me.
All right, so
Yes, ma'am.
I went ahead and put the commentary out there for you. We sent 10-day notice to the owner back in July 12th, and then we sent notice to clean to both locations, and what I mean by that is the address that's on the warranty deed, and there's also an address posted on the front door for the trash. And we have had no contact with any representatives, any owners, or anybody coming forward. We did post notice of hearing, sent it out, posted on the newspaper, did all of that stuff, and still no contact. No owners, representatives showed up to the hearing, and we went ahead and had the grass and weeds summarily abated, but we're here for trash. So we have our estimated cost at $2,500.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments? Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the order of determination for trash in Lot 26, Block 2, Price Hills addition in this to the city of Guymon, Texas County, Oklahoma, aka 214 Northeast 18th Street.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Heitzen.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 10 is discussion and possible action to approve Section 5311 formula grant for the Rural Areas Federal Fiscal Year 2021 Funding 2022 Program Year Time Extension Agreement number ARP 2022-09 between Oklahoma Department of Transportation and the City of Guymon, the ride.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you can hear me. Sorry. These are funds that we got back in, what it says, 21 for 2022. Through ODOT management, they contacted me and said, hey, you still have some funds that we haven't used yet. You want to use them? I was like, absolutely. So they sent us out. It's all for COVID items. So they sent out a deal saying, well, you need to have this done by September. Well, we didn't quite make it. So they said, well, we're going to extend it, and we're going to extend it out to March 14th, 2025. And I said, great. So they sent us out a list of all of our eligible items that we can purchase. And Martin is going to happily go spend this money, but we have to have an agreement that you guys agreed that we can have this extension so that we can spend the money on our buses. And it's mainly tires, cleaning supplies, maintenance, anything that would be COVID related that would keep the bus from getting to a hospital if somebody would COVID disinfection. So we are asking that the council approves this extension agreement. Any questions?
My only concern would be looking forward, if we go forward with the enterprise deal with the fleet management, would they be able to provide 15-person buses? Because in that conversation I had with the representative from Enterprise, he did allude to the fact that they would be able to possibly be providing us. So would this money be better spent on something else if we're going to have new vehicles soon, or?
ODOT is pretty particular. That's why I asked for a list. They would be completely separate from the enterprise. We have to follow the FTA guidelines. And so he has sent out a whole list. We can use it on our wages, on our driver's wages. We can use it on anything to purchase new vehicles. I don't believe we're at this time at a point of purchasing anymore. We still have one, just one. But it would have to go through one of their federal programs. We could not do that through Enterprise unless we might be able to get approval, but we'd have to talk to them first about it.
But this money, with clarification, what we're talking about tonight is to approve an extension because we have some ARPA money that wasn't spent.
Yes.
And if we don't approve the extension, we lose it.
We lose it, exactly.
So, and then the staff can make determinations of what it's going to be
spent on maintenance that we'd have to do anyways with the.
Until that happens,
yeah. It's like purchasing of tires, with this money, they will reimburse us part of our cost. I think it's 80% of our cost of new tires.
So we would submit the claims to them, and then they would send us the money to put back into our general fund.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
Any other questions, discussion? Motion.
Make a motion to approve section 5311 formula grant for rural areas federal fiscal year 2021 funding 2022 program year time extension agreement, no ARP 2022 to 2009, between Oklahoma Department of Transportation and the City of Guymon, the RIDE.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Sanchez. Aye. Idson.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 12 is discussion and possible action to approve.
We're going 11.
Oh, we got 11. Oh, good night. I was looking at the wrong screen again. I'll put this over here to look at the yellow. Discussion and possible action to approve section 5311 formula grant for rural areas of the federal fiscal year 2024 funding 2025 program year agreement number RT2024 -08 between the Oklahoma Department of Transportation and the City of Guymon, the RIDE.
So this is a yearly grant that we apply for every year. It helps offset, all of our transportation expenses. Mainly, we either get 50 or 90% back, depending on what category our expenses are. Operation is 50%. Capital, like repairs to the vans, are 90%. But it's something we do every year, and the $5,000 is for our training. So if Martin goes to a conference and he's gone a week, they reimburse him for his stay at the hotels, his meals, anything that he gas, everything. So they put in a $5,000 travel and training expense reimbursement. So we're asking that the council approve this.
I make a motion we approve section 5311 formula grant for rural areas, fiscal year 2024 funding, 2025 program year agreement, number RT 2024-08 between Oklahoma Department of Transportation and the City of Guymon, the RIDE, item 11.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
I'm sorry, who seconded? Setzer.
Aye.
Sanchez. Aye. Alvedras.
Aye.
Idson.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
I'll wait on the green light to come up. Agenda item number 12 is discussion and possible action to approve the State Public Transit Revolving Fund Program Grant, the state for the state fiscal year 2025, agreement number RF 2025-10 between the Oklahoma Department of Transportation and the City of Guymon, the RIDE. Yes, ma'am.
So again, we apply for this one every year, and this grant, the revolving grant, helps us keep our fees low for elderly individuals and disabilities. Depending on how much the state has, is how much they allocate. For 2025, we're only going to be receiving $14,410. I think last year they had a lot more, and we received about $25,000. But it does help in keeping our fees low for our elderly and disabled. So we ask that you guys approve, unless you have questions.
The questions? Motion?
Make a motion we approve state public transit revolving fund program grant state fiscal year 2025 agreement number RF 2025-10 between Oklahoma Department of Transportation and the City of Guymon, the RIDE, item 12.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Idson.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Sanchez. Aye. Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 13 is discussion and possible action to approve the Emergency Medical Services interlocal agreement between the City of Guymon and the Town of Goodwin. Chief Wadley.
This is a meeting that we put on a couple of months ago with Texoma. Since then, Goodwin's EMS service is closed due to just lack of personnel, which is a problem across the state. across the nation. And this, with your approval here, will take care of EMS services for the Goodwill area, which we've already kind of absorbed without any contract or anything right yet. So this is kind of just cover that part.
Any questions?
We're going to be panhandle services here pretty soon.
Hooker's holding on good, but the thing of it is we're still providing a service for people that just like don't have anything. This will increase our total response area to a little over 1,500 square miles.
Wow.
Probably one of the larger ones in the state. Not the largest, but probably one of the largest ones there. And we've increased our, not only with that, we've increased our capabilities of being going to other hospitals. If we're closer to Elkhart, we would go to Elkhart. In Texoma, we're close to being closer to going to Dumas than we would to Liberal, or we're still bringing back to Guymon, whatever their needs are. So that opened up that capability there too. We've done a lot of homework, a lot of research on this. This has not increased our run volume really that much. With the loss of the nursing home, it kind of picks up a little bit to where we were. But our services for 911 EMS services across the whole general area has been increasing, as you see in some of my notes monthly. Has been increasing and increasing. In fact, to date, we already surpassed what we were during COVID, and I didn't think I would ever see that again. And we're surpassing that on a regular basis. So EMS is very important to Guymon, to Goodwill, to Texoma, to the entire panhandle. It's a service that we can provide.
How does Santillan, Vaughn, and Uribe being gone affect
Who? Yeah.
the three that were deployed? Santillan, Uribe, and Vaughn?
Our switchwater?
Yes.
Has it affected us? Not really a lot. We're manned very well. We have different coverage areas. Admin, backup. If we're falling short, so we're not seeing any effect in our with that. In fact, we've actually got, on top of them being gone, we've got about 4 or 5 other people at different classes across the state that are coming back and forth. So we've been down with some of them, but it's not affected our daily staffing at all.
Good deal.
And are we going to increase personnel or with taking over Goodwill, or we have enough personnel to already
Right now, we have
absorb all
enough
that?
personnel. We'll look at, when it comes to budget time, we'll be looking at what those numbers are, if we need to increase and how we increase and how we do stuff. But we are right where we project to be right now.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to approve emergency medical services interlocal agreement between the city of Guymon and the town of Goodwill.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Eitzen.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Okay, agenda item number 14. Do we want to take this item at a time, Mike, or Mr. Shannon, or as a lump?
It'd be nice if we could just do it all in one motion, basically. I'm going to defer a lot of this over to our city clerk. And I'll just make first a comment that it's time to update our software that runs the city of Guymon. And if you have any questions, I mean, this handles everything from the migration part of it, everything from utility billing to municipal court, I mean, everything that's done in the city of Guymon, Rhonda, finance and everything. So it's time to upgrade.
Let me go back and let me read the agenda item, and then we'll go from there. But that's all right. Agenda item number 14 is discussion and possible action to approve the following agreement and quotes with Tyler Technology. And I'll read them off. They're up on the list. It's software as a service agreement. Move everything over to their hosted cloud environment, which will take our servers out of the picture. Quote time and attendance module. Quote for Tyler payments for utility billing for online payment processing. Quote for municipal court cases. Resolution bundle for online payment processing, and quote for migration to Encode version 10, which we've used Encode for quite some time. And those are all the things that are in it. They all tie together, though, as one fell deal. So does anybody like to ask them questions about specifics, or?
Are we going to have an actual metal piece here, or is this going to be all on the cloud? Does anybody know that?
It's all on the cloud.
So we don't have a backup of it anywhere but
Right.
on the cloud. Maybe they have a backup somewhere.
We would have that option to back up, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right, okay.
And what we're going to the cloud, I mean, we have some servers now that are nearing end of life.
I would imagine.
So this is kind of coming at a good time, I feel, and so does IT department here.
Yeah, with ransomware and everything on the rise, it's just backup.
Definitely.
So, and if you IT knows of other backup methods to utilize in this transition with Tyler technology, I would suggest we really look into that.
Okay. Noted. Thank you.
Are we held to the bid process on this? Did we bid everything? Did we bid this job? No.
We're just upgrading the existing.
Oh, that's right.
Encode, city's had Encode since 2018.
I think you're right.
No, since about 2009.
Oh.
We've had Encode since 2009.
Okay.
Probably upgraded when IBTS got here too.
No, well, I don't know what IBTS operated off of. The city operated off of version 9.
Gotcha.
We started integrating to version 10 in about 2015, and we were advised not to go to Encode 10 because it was brand new and there were too many bugs. They wanted us to wait till, they advised us to wait till other cities, work with Encode 10 and Tyler technology gets all the bugs worked out. So at that time, we already had port transferred over to Encode 10, so we didn't go back on port, we just stopped the process. So right now, everything's on Encode 9 except for ports on Encode 10. And financials on Encode 10 port do not speak to Encode 9. So we're having to make manual journal entries. And it's time to move forward with Encode 10. But before we move forward in Encode 10, we wanted to go to the cloud. And before we do that, we need to implement some options, like number 14.2. The time and attendance module would be replacing our current time clock plus module, and that would alleviate our HR department from having to import from time clock plus into Encode. And I believe also this should take place after the first of the year. The cost for the time and attendance is $48,400 to implement it, and $17,000 on an annual basis to renew the license. Tyler Payments replaces ETS, who is our third-party processor for online payments. Tyler Technology told us as of the end of the year they would no longer support ETS, so they told us about their program. This will be implemented before the end of the year because they won't support ETS after the end of the year. There's some additional features to Tyler Payments. There's a text-to-pay option. There is an option for us to send text notifications when somebody's payment is due. And they will set us up with a 1-800 number. So customers can call in and make a payment. The cost is about the same to the customer. This is $3,545 for a one-time fee right now, and $900 annually. Then number 14.4 is the municipal court bundle. We wanted to go to Tyler Technology with all of our modules so that we don't have different companies for different departments. So this court bundle will replace our traffic payment group. The cost is about the same to the customer. It may be a little bit cheaper. It's dependent upon the amount of their citation. It's an online payment processing also. It's at no cost to the city, except for a $360 annual license renewal. And then the last is the migration to Encode version 10, item number 14.5. And version 10 gives us more reporting capability. We can attach documents to our programs. Like we could attach an identification document to a utility billing account, or we can attach a copy of an invoice to someone's vendor history. So if we want to look up a payment to Mr. Petty, we could call up his account and click on the invoice and see a copy of that invoice that we paid. That cost is $54,840 for a one-time fee. And there's not a reoccurring cost on that. The reoccurring cost is on 14.1, software as a service. That annual fee will take care of all of our modules. The migration to Encode version 10 includes training all staff.
Outstanding.
All right.
Is there an Encode 11?
Pardon?
Is there an Encode 11?
Coming up, I'm sure.
That's funny, I asked that same question.
It's going to be buggy.
Any other discussion?
I make a motion that we approve the following agreement with quotes with Tyler Technology, 14.1.2.3.4.5, item 14.
Second that.
I have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Hudson.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Okay. Agenda item number 15 is discussion and possible action to approve pay request number 5, the retainage, in the amount of $90,600.75 to United Golf LLC for the Sunset Hills Golf Course irrigation project. Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead there, Matthew.
No, just, if I may, Mr. Mayor and Council,
You
I
can.
just want to personally thank each and one of you for going through this process for Sunset Hills to get us the new irrigation system. It's been an outstanding year, and in my honest opinion, in the time that I've been here, I think through the course of the year, the golf course has been in the best shape that it's been here since my time as being here in charge of the golf course. So, yeah, I just wanted to come and personally say thank you on behalf of Sunset Hills for making this a successful ordeal. So, thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Matthew.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Matthew, I didn't need to rain on your parade there, but this is something that just kind of just popped up, and I'll be honest with you, I'd already forgot about it, but our city clerk had been waiting. We've been holding this payment until they furnished us the right paperwork. They just submitted it, so we're ready to close the project, so signed, sealed, and delivered, so. I can't believe they waited this long, but.
I have a motion, question?
No, I just want to give a kudos to the people out there at the golf course for keeping this thing operating and looking as beautiful as it does throughout all this maintenance that's been happening. So that's not an easy task.
Maintenance and water restrictions.
Yeah.
Of that.
And all the headache that's been in between.
I'd like to make a motion to approve pay request number 5, retainage in the amount of $90,675 to United Golf LLC for the Sunset Hills Golf Course irrigation project, item 15.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Hudson.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 16 is discussion and possible action to approve the final report from the No Man's Land Rifle and Pistol Association and to issue payment in the amount of $5,000. And this is for convention and tourism.
That is correct. All the paperwork's been turned in, all the invoices checked. And thank you, Ursula. You did good. We appreciate you holding their feet to the fire and making sure we have all the needed information. So staff recommends to pay.
And in that meeting, when they presented to us, they had a great turnout, and so much so it got popular. They're doing it again this year, and they're not even requesting any funding this year. So
I think this weekend is when their shoot is.
yeah, I
It's
believe
got
so.
a key for it today, so yeah.
Any questions, discussion, motion?
Make a motion to approve the final report from No Man's Land Rifle and Pistol Association and to issue payment in the amount of $5,000.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Idson.
Abstain.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 17 is discussion and possible action to approve Home for the Holidays application for possible funding in the amount not to exceed $20,000. And this is for, again, convention and tourism. Yes, sir. What's Otis? I was trying to figure out how that was back there.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to come before you this evening and ask on the behalf of our little council, our little board, Home for the Holidays, to continue to support with what we're doing at the park on the month of December for our Christmas. We're growing every year, getting more popular every year. The park is very busy through December, and I hope everybody has had an opportunity to come down and see what we're doing. We want to just get bigger. We have big plans. We have big visions. We are held back, of course, as most of our funding comes through private donations and sponsorships. We're very fortunate. We have some good sponsors within our community. And we just want to we're trying to build a tradition, and we want to continue to build on that tradition. This will be our 4th year. I don't think we're going away. I don't think our community wants us to go away. So. Any questions for me?
I have a question. First off, I think it's a great event, and my family and I enjoy the lights and everything at the park. But my question is, what's your time frame for taking all the lights down?
I think we put a January 14th at the end date to get the lights off. We understand that first year was nothing but volunteers, and as you may know, volunteers are just that, they're volunteers. We're much better organized since that first year, and we're like this, and we use those lights over and over. So that's money in the trees, so to speak. So getting them down and getting them secure as soon as after December 31st is ideal for us.
How many people roughly visit the park in December?
Well, I know last year we had a really good month. And I want to say it was close to 30,000 for the month. I know we had over 3,000 people there December 1st for opening night, which is our time to shine. So it's building. Every year those numbers have gone up, and we're all benefiting from those visitors, I believe.
I know the board did come to me and ask about safety concerns about the stairs and railing going to the park, darkness and all that. So I didn't know if we could, the Parks Board or whatever, could look on that and make sure that the safety is there. Because I went down the railings yesterday, I think, for pumpkins in the park, and it hit my knees.
It needs to be fixed.
Yeah, so I didn't know if there was potential of raising that bar for if there was a safety code or something.
This seems a little low, though.
Yes.
I'm just out there today. Looks like I'm taking that the city went ahead and barricaded it off.
Today.
And because I went out there today because I'd had a complaint filed through the ADA. And so I immediately went out there. And somebody had already barricaded it off.
Okay.
with yellow tape, and I don't know who it was, but that was news to me, so
Yeah, I just
we're looking
encountered
into it.
yesterday,
Yeah.
I was like-
When the complaint was filed, we take things like that very seriously, and, yeah, that's all I know at this point, so.
I would like to commend the Parks Department. We went out there and picked up trash Friday. We was off work. We celebrate Tecumseh Day. The Shawnee Tribe does. And they want us to volunteer and give back to our community on that day. And we usually pick up the trash on the highway out in front of the casino, but I don't know if y'all noticed, it's busy out there. And it seems almost dangerous for us to be trying to do that with what they got going. So we just went to the park. That was the easiest day we have had. It was clean, trim. It was beautiful. I mean, we had to search for trash. That's how bad it was for us. But they did a great job at that park.
Motion?
Make a motion that we approve Home for the Holidays application, possible funding in the amount not to exceed $20,000, item 17.
Second?
Have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Idson.
Abstain.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 18 is discussion and possible action to accept the RFQ, request for qualifications, for airport consultant submitted by Garver Engineering as recommended by the Airport Board. The Garver Master Agreement for Professional Services, project number 2401896, and work order number 1 to the Master Agreement for Professional Services for the City of Guymon, project number 2400534.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm sure y'all are tired of me by now, but in presenting this evening, we put this out for request after we put those bids out, request for the qualifications. We had Garver respond. Garver is our, who had been our current consultant. So we had the one request after posting that, and we recommend to stay with them. They've been good to us, and that's who we would like to go with. Any questions?
Any questions?
Question?
Motion?
I make a motion that we accept RFQ for airport consultant submitted by Garver Engineering as recommended by the Airport Board. Garver Master Agreement, Professional Service Project Number 2401896 and work order number 1. Master Agreement for Professional Services, City of Guymon, Project Number 2400534, item 18.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Setzer.
Aye.
Idson.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 19 is discussion and possible action to declare items no longer needed by the City of Guymon as surplus and authorize the city manager to determine the disposal of same. There's a list of surplus items attached. Questions? Discussion? Motion?
We're gonna
House
put-
cleaning
Are
time.
we going to put these on Purple Wave, Mr. Shannon?
That is correct.
Do they go out to the community first in any way, shape, or form, or on our website, or do they go straight to Purple Wave?
Straight to Purple Wave.
Understood.
And to my knowledge, of the past, Purple Wave's been real good to us. They come out and do all the work for you. I mean, it's painless.
Did I just see sprinkler heads on there?
Yes.
We're reselling sprinkler heads?
Well, from the golf course, we have.
That's awesome.
Make a motion that we declare items no longer needed by the City of Guymon surplus and authorize city manager to determine the disposal of some, item 19, of same, item 19.
A second.
Have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Idson.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 20 is new business. We have none. Agenda items 21,
Mr. Mayor?
yes.
If I could interject for new business for...
Yours isn't news business. You can, I'm gonna let you hear public comments. Get up and tell us about it.
Okay. I would like to request a fee variance for the use of the hospitality building for the Chamber of Commerce for the upcoming banquet. It's coming up on Thursday evening. It is open to the community. We do recognize the Citizen of the Year, several other outstanding people within the community. We do bring in people from out of town. We have people coming in from Boise City and from Elkhart and from Liberal for the event because we do invite other chambers. And I just feel like, it would be it's a good opportunity for us to keep our costs low and for us to work with the city and showcase the property out there that you guys have made some improvements on. I was out there this week for Beef Fest getting chairs and things out of the beer garden and noticed y'all had put in some asphalt there to help that entrance into the hospitality building, and so lots of good things going on out there. So,
Well, to answer your question, one, since it was not an agenda item, we cannot take any action on it because it doesn't fit. Am I correct, Mr. Petty?
correct.
It doesn't fit our criteria for new business.
Okay.
So we'll have to table that, and I think you've had some discussions with the city manager on that, so that's where we have to leave that. And that's what the Open Meetings Act does for us.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Erica.
Okay, we're down to public comments, which she gave one, but we can't take any action on it. Any public comments? Any public comments? If not, we'll stand adjourned as the Guymon City Council. We'll reconvene as the Guymon Utilities Authority. Okay. We've already done 1, 2, and 3. So,
We still got 3, the minutes.
we have to approve the minutes?
3.
Okay. Agenda item number 3 is approve the minutes of the special meeting of September 17th, 2024.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes, special meeting of September 17, 2024, item 3.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Heitzen.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 4 is discussion and possible action to authorize advertising for bids for the Guymon North Park School Water Relocation Project. Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, this is the project, the new school being built over at Northeast. We're going to have to relocate water lines going into that tower, and we've already negotiated with the school. We've had a great time so far, haven't we? Yes, we have. But this is just letting us go ahead and get the process started let these people start their process, so.
Okay.
Didn't we approve a water line to be moved last meeting as well?
What we approved was the plans and Department of Environmental Quality. That was on the agenda.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's ready to bid out now. We just need your permission.
Make a motion to authorize advertising for bids for the Guymon North Park School Water Line Relocation Project.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Heitzen.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 5 is discussion and possible action to approve Park Hill Engineering invoice number 0140831.00/11 in the amount of $16,250 on the Guymon FAP water storage tank projects. I believe that's for the engineering that they put into it.
That is correct.
What we don't.
Seems like they put a lot of engineering into that invoice number. Jeez.
Yeah. They did. So, any discussion, motion?
I make a motion to approve Park Hill Engineering invoice number 0140832.11.11 in the amount of $16,250 on the Guymon FAP water storage tanks projects.
Second.
You have a motion and a second.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Heitzen.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 6 is discussion and possible action to approve application for payment number 1 from Hydro Resources Mid-Continent in the amount of $9666.138.34
Exactly.
for the Mesa Water Project.
It's been a long night.
It's been a long night. And by the way, this is the first water out of that field. This is from the test wells, and they're drilling the...
Can we drink it?
You can, it's just straight out of the ground like the rest of ours, doesn't have any chlorine in it. But that's for each one of you to take home.
Spit it off there and have a drink.
But anyway, they're starting to drill, they started drilling the last test well today, is that right?
That is correct. They should be probably logging it sometime tomorrow afternoon, so that'll be our last one. Probably within the next couple of 3 weeks, we'll have all the important data, but preliminary discussions with the engineering group, we found some really nice, abundant, good, clean water.
Okay, let's pay Hydro. I have a pay request for them. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve application for payment number 1 from Hydro Resources Mid-Cont in the amount of $966,138.34 for the Mesa Water Project Phase 1.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Heitzen.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 7 is discussion and possible action to approve invoice number 154337 to Ardura in the amount of $102,266.77 for the major Mesa Water Project Phase 1. Invoice is attached.
Well, I guess we should pay them too. I'll make a motion to approve invoice number 154337 to Ardura in the amount of $102,266.77 for the Mesa Water Project Phase 1.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Heitzen.
Aye.
Setzer.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Okay, we have no new business again. Any public comments? Any public comments? Reports from city manager and councilman.
I would like to make a comment, and I'll probably make this comment a couple of times because I think it's very important. If you are a citizen that has a concern about anything on the agenda, I highly recommend that you reach out to all council members prior to the meeting and not wait until the day of or the night before. It helps us make a better decision. So with that being said, I still appreciate everybody that came out today to voice their opinion, but also we have time. I would like time to ponder on your thoughts instead of at the last minute kind of thing. So I just wanted to make sure that all of our citizens know that I do care about our constituents. And with that being said, for me to be able to make a sound decision, not last minute, time is of the essence. So don't wait till the last minute, please.
I second that.
Well stated. Sergio? Please? Nothing?
Nope. Hopefully people are, people safe and Tri-County that they send people out to go help with this hurricane. So hopefully the Panhandle crew stays safe during all the traffic.
Absolutely. All I've got, and it kind of echoes on that, is we've got a great bunch of fire people. We've got a great bunch of staff. Our city staff's made up of givers. I classify people as givers and takers, and we got givers. So we got 3 young gentlemen. They're given of their family time, of their talents, going to Florida with the Oklahoma Swift Water Group. They're there safe, last I heard, and we wish them, keep them in your prayers. That's the easiest thing to say. Also, we want to remember, there was a tremendous, and there's still an ongoing need for it, or it's an ongoing thing. All of the victims of the very first hurricane, I cannot even wrap my mind around a lot of the pictures I've seen over there. And sure as heck can't imagine that much water in one place at one time, being a native of the Panhandle. So we want to keep people that are in line for this next hurricane, which they say could be possibly bigger and more powerful than the last one. Keep them in your prayers, the citizens, plus all of the folks, as Jason put, that are going to help those people. All of the givers. The chamber banquet this Thursday night. We'll get to present the Citizen of the Year. That's something the city does through the Dale Found Trust. And so if you don't have plans to go. It'll be a good evening. And that's all I got. Mr. Chairman.
I have a couple of things. The first thing I want to do, I want to compliment my staff. Ginger, you did a magnificent job tonight. I appreciate that. Police Department, I appreciate you showing up tonight. It's always good to see you all. But, and what the mayor did say about the city staff, I'll match them to anybody at this point in time. They're very thorough, they're very fair, and they do everything from the heart. And I can't ask for anything better. It's budget time. I think budget letters went out to all the department heads. We start our very long days and nights next week. Is it next week or 2 weeks? The following week. And we'll start meeting with our department heads. We'll probably meet with them biggest part of the week, that week. Then we'll be reaching out probably to council members probably, and also to what I'm calling line items in the budget, like our Chamber of Commerce, our Main Street, and the Jim Hitch, and the rodeo, the college rodeo. But it's going to be an interesting year. So we've got about 30 days, 45 days of nothing but budget hearings, discussions, screaming, yelling, but it'll be good.
Oh, there's not that many.
That's just me and Ron.
Oh,
okay. and Jennifer, hey, welcome to the club, buddy. Anyway, but no, things are going good. The water project, again, come to a close probably sometime tomorrow on our test wells, our confirmation wells. Hopefully with the next 14 to 3 weeks, probably 14 days, 3 weeks, we should have some really good test results. If we'll have them by the next meeting. If I get them quicker than that, I'd like to call a special meeting to lay it all out on the table. So,
keep going.
Okay.
Okay, anybody have anything else? Again, want to thank you all for coming, and thanks for everything you do. And now you can go and take a nap. I've been sitting here, she's got me yawning. I was watching back there. So
I think everybody that stayed here the whole time, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll take a drink of it. I'm not scared.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Is this our